Hi, welcome to the Crafty Manatee. Today I'm going to be showing you how to weave in your yarn tails at the end of your crochet project to hide them out of sight. This is the sixth episode of my Crochet for Beginners playlist, and the next few episodes are all going to be patterns. So after we've learned this, you have learned everything that you need to know to go ahead and get started on your first crochet project. Today we are starting with a finished crochet project, and in my last videos I showed you all of the steps that you need to get to this point. So if you haven't checked those out yet, make sure to do that if you are a beginner to crochet and want to learn all of the basics. All we're going to need to weave in ends are a pair of scissors and a needle, and of course the project that you want to weave in the ends for. We're going to go ahead and take our needle here and pick a yarn tail. It doesn't matter which one you pick, just go ahead and pick one to start with and thread the end of the yarn through your needle. Now we want to go ahead and start weaving this in. So I'm going to insert my needle into the work like this. And I'm going to just go under some of these rows here, so it doesn't really matter where you weave in the end, just that it's hidden. And I like to go through some of these thicker stitches, the single crochet stitches here, instead of weaving into the chain, just because I find that it does stay sandwiched in between those single crochet stitches a little bit easier. And we are just inserting our needle through the single crochet stitches like that. So as you can see, you can just barely see my needle from the front, and that's the same on the back. So you want to make sure that you're not seeing much of your needle as you continue doing this. So go ahead and do that for a few inches, just inserting through these loops. And now we are going to pull the needle through. So you want to just pull through so that that yarn tail is now being looped around into the project. And now I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So we are going to skip a stitch. So you can see I went under that loop there. We're now going to go over that loop and start going under in the next stitch. That way it doesn't pull right back out. And we are going to just do the same thing in the opposite direction. And now pull through. You don't want to pull too tight, so you can give it some tugs. That way it's not messing up the tension of the rest of your project. And now I like to go in the same direction that we started in one more time. I find that going in 3 different directions really helps the yarn tail not to come out. So we're going to do the same thing, skipping one of these loops so that it doesn't come completely unraveled. We don't just pull the yarn tail back out, and go under some of those single crochet loops and pull it out. And we can remove our needle. Next, we're going to take our scissors and cut off that yarn tail, and you can cut it right up to the base of our project. So I'm going to snip that yarn tail off. Make sure you don't cut your original project. And cut that off. I give it a few tugs just to really hide it away. And as you can see, you can just barely tell where that yarn tail was tucked in at. Now we are going to do the same thing for the other yarn tail. And your project might have more. If you were changing colors along the way, you might have a ton of yarn tails along the way that you need to weave in. So just pick another one, insert your yarn through the needle. And we're going to insert it back in to the project under some of these single crochet stitches. Again, you want to make sure that your needle is not too visible from the front or the back. And then pull through. Give it a little pull so that your tension doesn't get too tight. And now we're going to go in the opposite direction, skipping that first stitch, inserting under the next one, and continuing that all the way along. Going to pull through, give it a tug, loosen up the tension, and then go in the opposite direction. So again, skip one and insert back down into those stitches. And pull through. Now we can cut that yarn tail off, being careful not to cut the original project. And here is what our finished crochet project will look like. Of course, this is just a simple one row of single crochet stitches, but it is also very good as a bookmark. So if you did crochet along with me and you're at this point, congratulations, this does count as your first crochet project because you can use it as a bookmark or all kinds of other stuff. I think it counts. It's a great beginner tutorial. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to weave in your yarn tails at the end of your project. I also hope you enjoyed all of the other videos of the Crochet for Beginners playlist. Coming up next are going to be some beginner-friendly patterns, so make sure to stick around to see those so that you can get started crocheting even more intricate things that are still very, very easy for beginners.